should cheer for your team and should show respect for injured players on both teams. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, also noisemakers, if you have them out here in the stands, please put them away or give them to the players. Noisemakers are only allowed in the dugouts. At shortstop, number 5, Lexi Escamilla. At second base, number 34, Mia Rodriguez. Behind the plate, catching, number 22, Romy Nunez. Designated player for the Lady Panthers, number 10, Emma Galvan. Over in left field, number 3, Dela Hinojosa. And the flex player for the Lady Panthers, in the circle, the pitcher, number 27, Madeline Cantu. Subs for the Lady Panthers, number 6, Kira Sosa. 30, Miranda Pantaleon. 2, Calissa Izaguirre. 9, Madison Arevalo. 20, Daisy Hinojosa. 20, Hannah Montelongo. 12, Daisy Hinojosa. Number 7, Lauren Bettis. And number 55, Clarissa Mejia. Head coach for the Lady Panthers, Mario Rodriguez, assisted by Daniel Hinojosa, Cruz Moraz, Rolando Rodriguez, David Ortiz, and Rebecca Arena. And now, here's the starting lineup for the San Antonio O'Connor Panthers. Over in right field, number 2, Savannah Pop. At shortstop, number 14, Mika Dominguez. Over at first base, number 18, Emily Fish. Behind the plate, catching, number 7, Amia Hasso. At third base, hot corner, number 15, Haley Carter. Out in center field, number 19, Trinity Lunsford. Out in left field, number 17, Araceli Alonso. At second base, number 3, Kaylin Rodriguez. Designated player for the Panthers, number 9, Ella DeLuna. And the flex player in the circle, the pitcher, number 13, Thalia Reyes. Subs for the Panthers, number 1, Alyssa Carreras. Number 6, Karina Felsing. Number 8, Allison Munoz. Number 11, Gracie Avila. Number 20, Bella Sierra. 21, Bradley Kitchen. And number 22, Timely Martinez. Head coach for the Panthers is Megan Lowe, assisted by Hannah Rebar and Nicole Brown. Now, ladies and gentlemen, would you please rise for the playing of our national anthem?
And good evening and welcome. We are live on YouTube tonight, and our journeys take us to Robstown, Texas. It is time for softball, playoff style, 2023 UIL Texas Softball State Championships. This is the third round. Representing 32-6A, it's the Weslaco Lady Panthers. And representing 29-6A, the San Antonio O'Connor Lady Panthers. Now, Weslaco so far this year, 24-13, 7-3 in district. In district, they finished tied for second, but with an agreement, they were the third seed. O'Connor, meanwhile, they've won 17 games in a row, and they are 25-5. And, of course, they have a new coach this year. They are the defending state champions, but Megan Lowe has taken over. And helping me out, as always, when we do this playoff game, I'm Scott Harrison, along with Mike Gonzalez. Mike, we are ready for some big action.
Absolutely, Scott. This is going to be a great one. It's been a year, perhaps, a wait for the Lady Panthers of Weslaco, because if you remember, this is a rematch of the Elite Eight last year. Both teams squared off in Corpus Christi's Cabinets Field, and San Antonio O'Connor came away with a 2-0 series win and went on to win the state championship the next week in Austin.
O'Connor, by the way, 14-2 in district, and of course, last game there was an injury for one of the Lady Panthers. We're talking about their catcher and DP, Clarissa Mejia, and she will not be able to play in this tournament, but I understand she may come here. We'll have to wait and see, so we wish the best for her. And Mike, as we look at this, we also know that O'Connor was 14-2 in district, so they can be beaten, even though they've had a very good year. But anytime you go against the defending state champs, you got to wonder how many players are back. Well, I think they lost, about 7 to graduation, but they have three starters from last year's squad.
Yeah, absolutely. As a matter of fact, 6-7 players from last year's squad are moving on, and they are currently playing at the college level. But you mentioned 3 of the players that were key in that championship run are back in this team, and they have about 5 or 6 others that contributed that were on the roster last year, but were primarily backups and courtesy runners and etc.
Andrea Ortiz leads it off for Weslaco, a right fielder, a freshman wearing number 11. So we are underway right now. And Talia Reyes, very good pitcher. She is going to start tonight, though they have 2 pitchers they use. We'll talk more about that later.
And the numbers on Andrea Ortiz, you mentioned she's a freshman. 3 out of 16 so far in the playoffs, no home runs, 2 RBIs. If you remember, Scott had a big triple in Game 3 against Eagle Pass last week.
And she is going to loft that one towards center field. And it's over the center fielder's head, and it's going to be at least a double. So nice job to get it started for the Lady Panthers. A 2-base hit. Now, as far as the dimensions, last week when we were in Jordanton, it was 200 all the way around. In the outfield, a little deeper, 220. And, of course, in the corners, left and right field, 200 feet, Mike.
Yeah, Ortiz hit it to the deepest part of the ballpark, straight away center field. You mentioned 220. If this was at Jordanton last week, that might have been a home run if we were in Weslaco. But nevertheless, Ortiz, the leadoff hitter, starts with a double here.
Lola Reyes is up now in that deciding third game against Eagle Pass. She, of course, a slap hitter, went 4 for 4, had a couple RBIs, and she is just a sophomore, wears number 1, and we'll talk more about this. But unfortunately, her sister's team, that is in the junior college level, McLennan, it got eliminated in the junior college Area 5 round. I guess it's the regional round, but a great season for her sister, was a great Panther player. Of course, we're talking about Kat Reyes.
Absolutely, and the numbers on Lola Reyes, you talk about she was 4 for 4 in Game 3. She's 8 for 15 overall with 1 home run. That was an inside-the-park home run with 6 RBIs. Is credited with a triple and a double. You remember, she hit that big triple in Game 3 last week.
1-1. Now, talking about Talia, isn't she something like 16-1 pitching this year?
16-1,
wow.
Scott, with a 102 ERA. In 26 appearances, she has 116 2/3 innings to her credit. Check this out for a ratio: 162 strikeouts and only 15 walks.
Staying alive, Lola bunts it, or actually, should I say, taps it foul, 1-2. I'll tell you, we've faced some good pitchers. Now, the young lady we're pitching tonight, maybe not quite as powerful as the two we saw last week in Eagle Pass, but she still has a ball that goes in the high 50s and very good curveball.
Yeah, the words that Coach Megan Lowe used to describe her is that she spins the ball really well. And as you mentioned, she throws in the upper 50s. So she's not a power pitcher, but she will get the job done. She's a very good location hitter, only a junior. And you talk about state champions of San Antonio O'Connor. She had to fill in for Sammy Portillo, who was their ace last year.
Great player.
Yeah.
And that is going to be slapped down toward first base. First baseman cannot. Yes, she does get there in time. I didn't think she was going to catch her, but she did. So unassisted, gets the ground ball and tags Lola for the out. And the runner at second will advance to third on that. So at least a little bit of a sacrifice, even if it's not registered that way maybe. But again, we have a runner at third base. That's good, Mike.
Absolutely. And then one thing O'Connor is going to learn early on, and you see the coach come out, one of the things I'm wondering she's addressing is the speed of Lola Reyes. That she almost beat that.
Right, yeah, I thought she did it first.
She almost made it to first, absolutely.
Yeah.
And so she's probably letting her infielders know, make sure when you make the play that you make it. Or I guess she's going to warm up here.
Yeah.
This is what we're looking at, making sure she's okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, she was, I guess.
But, yeah, it was a very close play at first base.
Right.
So the first baseman, I'm sure, is realizing that, I better get to the back quicker than this.
Emily Fish tagged her out. And, of course, they have two pitchers they use, and we'll talk more about that. They used two pitchers when they beat Los Fresnos in that one-game playoff in the area round. They won 7-6, but it was a big comeback for this O'Connor team. They had to score, I think, 4 runs in the 6th and 3 in the 7th, something like that, to win 7-6.
Oh, yeah, they fell behind 3-0, and then you mentioned all their noise came later in the innings. And one-game playoff, you talk about pressure. I mean, they had to step up there. And Los Fresnos gave them a very, very good game. They're a big scary. The game was a neutral site at Bishop High School there, and O'Connor pulled away with a 7-6 win.
Alexis Solis at the plate, third baseman, number 11, a junior. And she'll pop it up. Second baseman has it. And an easy out. There's about a 10-mile-an-hour wind, they say, in the National Weather Service, but it seems to be more than that.
Yeah, it's kind of gusty.
Yeah, kind of gusty,
to
right.
the left field corner there.
And by the way, Kaylin Rodriguez was the one that made the out, the second baseman, as we mentioned a moment ago. And now Lexi Escamilla is up, the only senior on the team, number 5, the shortstop.
Actually, it's Elizabeth Craig.
Oh, okay, Elizabeth
8.
Craig. All right.
Yeah,
okay.
And she's having a great postseason so far.
Right.
8 for 14, no home runs, 6 RBIs, does have a double, but she's put the ball in play quite a bit in the postseason. Has really delivered some big time hits. Leads the team with 6 RBIs in the playoffs.
She's an amazing player.
And only a junior.
Good crowd supporting both teams here tonight. That's going to be high. Ball 2. Nice field, isn't it, Mike?
I love it. It's a beautiful field. This is our first visit here to Robstown. And the last time I was here, I was actually for a football game 20 years ago.
Wow.
When I was the beat writer for the Valley Morning Star, and I covered Lyford. And, ever since then, this is my first trip here since 2003. So it's great to be here.
Of course, Panthers, the Lady Panthers of Weslaco in their purple and white outfits. They are the road team today. They'll be the home team tomorrow. Swing and a miss. And it's always good to hear the fans vocal from the start, Mike.
We heard how loud they were
in
Game 3 last week. And they're bringing it here in round 3.
That's going to be popped up. Foul ball in the stands. You hear it hit the aluminum.
Unlike last week where we had a canopy over us, this time there's no canopy, so the fans are going to get a lot of these souvenirs, and I don't know if they're going to give away free water or free nachos or anything like that. But, we're going to get a lot of foul balls back here. We may have a couple before all this is done.
Yep. 2-2 the count. High ball, 3-2. Elizabeth, of course, came over from McAllen Memorial. She also was a soccer player when she was there, but strictly concentrates on softball now. And that is going to be a fly ball. It's going back, and it is gone. Home run to left field, over 200 feet, and very quickly Weslaco goes ahead with 2 outs in the bottom of the first, 2-0. A big home run. And that's what you like to see. Get out in front early, especially when you're the road team.
It was a 3-2 count with 2 outs there, and when Elizabeth hit it, I noticed the wind was just carrying it. It was only a matter if it was going to be fair or foul, and it stayed in fair territory. I was looking at the left fielder, and she just kept looking up and just see the ball carry out of here. So I think the wind played a factor there, but Elizabeth Craig with her first home run of the playoffs.
That was nice.
Very nice.
Andrea Ortiz, of course, who got on to begin the game, she scored. So 2 big hits in the first inning so far. And then that is a strike now to Lexi Escamilla, who's up, playing shortstop, senior.
The only senior on the team is who is 5 out of 15 in the playoffs, 2 home runs and 5 RBIs. You remember her heroics in Game 1 against Eagle Pass?
And that was a fun series against Eagle Pass. Very evenly matched teams. It was a lot of fun to be a part of that.
You couldn't ask for more. No. Both teams going at it, a lot of strategy involved. Great coaching, great players, and just unsung heroes as well.
That's popped foul. And, of course, Weslaco won the first game 5-4, lost the second game 8-2, and then a big 4-2 victory to wind it up.
It was on a Saturday afternoon. Day game, Game 3. I was proud of the crowds for both programs as well. I mean, it was a fun series overall. We had a great time.
And even among the participants, Coach Lowe came there. Megan Lowe was scouting that series.
She was, yeah. And as a matter of fact, I asked her what stood out about Weslaco, and she just talked about the energy of the players.
Right.
Just how they come fired up in between innings with their
signs.
Oh, yeah.
She said they're loud.
Yeah.
She said, give us a description of the Weslaco bench, and she said loud.
Right. That's kind of interesting there, because usually she'll talk about, well, I like the way this player hits this way or pitcher throws that way. No, she was talking about the team overall.
And that is foul.
Escamilla battling up there with an 0-2 count.
So it's 0-2 the count. And you've known her family, right? She had a couple sisters that played at Weslaco. Kind of family legacy, the team.
Yeah, Audrey is playing college baseball right now. As a matter of fact, she had a game earlier, and Alyssa played shortstop. She had a catcher.
All right. And that is a swing and a miss. So strike 3, and in the inning, 2 runs, 2 hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. We played a half inning, and it's Weslaco over O'Connor 2-0. This is a KWES production.
Panther errors and no runners left on base.
All right. Well, I tell you what, Mike, that's exciting when you have a situation like this that you get out in front.
And what I like, Scott, is how last week against Eagle Pass, we had a number of runners that were stranded throughout the series, and I know it hurt them in Game 2. Well, what I like so far in this first half inning is just the fact that they were able to take advantage of the opportunity. We had a leadoff double, and the runner was at third, and then with 2 outs, how Elizabeth Craig delivered a big hit to give the team a 2-0 lead.
Well, talking to Maya Rodriguez, he was nice enough to talk with me for about 15 minutes, even though the Lakers game was on. I know you're a big Lakers fan, but he took time out to talk to me. And one of the things he said, you remember in the first game of that series with Eagle Pass, the top 4 hitters went 0 for 11. And he said one of the things he told to the team, some of the top players that didn't maybe contribute as much offensively in that series, it's a new opportunity now.
And you talk about that. That's a perfect example there. Elizabeth Craig started the playoffs hitting in the bottom of the lineup, like number 7, number 8 hole. He made the adjustment, bringing her up, and it paid off in Game 3. And look at her here in Game 1, already making an impact.
Yeah, she was quite the player in Game 3, wasn't she?
Absolutely. Yeah, she's been hot all
the home run. Remember that?
Playoffs, yeah.
So, all right. We appreciate, by the way, everybody that's out here tonight. It's several hours to get here, I guess. Robstown from
about a 2-hour drive.
2 hours drive, okay. So we are going to begin the bottom of the first, and a young lady who looks like her name is Pop, but it's pronounced Pope, Savannah Pope. She spells her last name P-O-P-P. She's a right fielder, sophomore, number 10. She's quite a player just for a sophomore.
Right, 425 hitter for the season, no home runs, 6 RBIs, has 1 double, 1 triple. She hits left-handed. Was part of the team last year. She's one of about 8 or 9 that were part of the team, but her contribution was limited. But this year, though, you know, she's making a name of herself moving forward now as a sophomore. So we'll be hearing her name for the next couple of years.
And she's a slap hitter, one of the 2 slap hitters on their team that's in the starting lineup. And she slaps that one down the third base line, but it's foul. Among the players that were starters last year on the state championship team, Trinity Lunsford, Miko Dominguez, and also, or Dominguez, I should say, Miko Dominguez. And I'm going to try to find the third one, Haley Carter. They are the 3 that are still starters this year that started last year.
So they have that state championship pedigree that they still have for the program. And moving forward with a new head coach, you know, as a coach, I'm sure she falls back on that a little bit and just kind of let the players kind of run it, not necessarily run the team a little bit. I don't want to say it like that, but just the fact that she can fall or use them a little bit, and they know what it takes to go all the way.
0-2 the count. That's a ball. By the way, Megan Lowe, she actually, well, this is actually her first time being a head coach at the high school level, but for 1 year, a few years back near Abilene, I guess, she was a head coach at a junior college, Ranger
College, right, a native of Houston, played in, the Big 12, that was in the big games.
And that is going to be a quick throw, and that is an out. What a throw from short from Escamilla over to first, and that is going to be an out. Of course, a nice stretch by Craig to get it, huh?
Right, absolutely. You saw Lexi already playing in, but Pope hit it at a pretty good spot there, so Lexi still had to come in a little bit and get it. As you mentioned, a great throw. And you saw Elizabeth there almost kind of doing a split there at first base. You know who that reminded me of a little bit? Because we're both Cubs fans. Remember Mark Grace used to do that?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Back in the
guy.
80s and 90s,
right.
He used to kind of have to stretch his legs out like that.
Now, the young lady that's up now is Miko Dominguez. She's a shortstop. Number 14, a sophomore, but you might remember her as a freshman last year. She was the catcher. But remember, their great shortstop, Good, all right, Leanne Good is now a star player with the Texas Longhorns.
Right, exactly, yeah. She made a tremendous play last year in the playoffs, but Miko actually
So Miko went from catcher to shortstop. Leanne Good, of course, a senior, now plays for the Texas Longhorns.
Miko had a big hit in Game 2 of last year's matchup. It was, I believe, a double that drove in a couple of runs, and that made it from 5-3 to 7-3. And as we have a pop fly there to right.
Pop fly to right, and it's an easy out. So F6, actually F9 on that one.
Yeah.
And that was a nice job, and 2 up, 2 down very quickly. You cannot complain about that. Have to be happy to see that. And that was Ortiz who scored the run earlier.
Right.
Now looking good on defense.
Yeah, absolutely. But going back to Miko a little bit here, she had a big hit there that gave them that cushion because the Lady Panthers rallied in the of their half of the 7th inning. They were the home team in Game 2 and got it down to 7-6. We have a base hit here.
Yeah, Emily Fish goes to right field. And
oh wow.
Play. What a play. Ortiz gets that ball.
But was she out?
Was she out?
She's safe. I think she's
all right.
safe.
But it was close.
Very, very good heads-up play by the right fielder.
Yeah, it looked like it was an easy hit for her. Actually, it went into right field, but Ortiz got that ball quickly, almost an out.
A freshman.
Yeah,
freshman.
Right.
With a high...
and Fish is a good player. I know we didn't get time to get her stats much this time, but we'll do it on her next at-bat.
But, yeah, Ortiz, just a heads-up play, the high IQ player there, recognizing that she can have an opportunity to throw Fish out at first, and almost got her.
All right, a sophomore is up, number 7, Amia Asso, and she is the new catcher. She took over now for Dominguez. By the way, I asked Dominguez, how'd you like moving to short? I mean, you know, that catcher position, that's a tough position. She said, well, you know, I'm at short, and it is good, but I'm a little more nervous because I'm not quite as comfortable with this position as I was at catcher. Right. That was an interesting comment from her.
Yeah, very interesting, and she comes in with a .338 average with a 1 home run, 20 RBIs.
You talking about Amia?
Yes.
Okay.
Amia Hasso.
Yeah. So ball 2. And, of course, our pitcher tonight, Madeline Cantu. And pitched in all 3 games, started all 3 games. For a freshman, what composure in that final half inning to get the victory.
I've seen Madeline in every game in the playoffs, and she's really come a long way. I don't know if maybe she was a little nervous during the PSJA series, but she was a totally different player from game 1 of the PSJA series to game 3 of the Eagle Pass series.
Right.
She's 4-1 in the playoffs so far, and she's thrown 31 innings. She's been very busy. Does have 6 strikeouts.
And that is going to be a walk. So now we have runners at first and second. And we talked about this young lady. Go ahead.
I was just going to say in last week's game 3, Madeline allowed 2 runs on 5 hits and struck out 5 big hitters there.
And Haley Carter now coming up, and she's a third baseman, a junior, number 15. She's one of the starters returning from last year's state championship team. Yeah. By the way, and I apologize, I'm not sure of her name, but the coach last year and her whole staff, well, the ones that assisted her moved on, but last year's coach, she retired. So that is why Megan got the job.
Yeah, what a way to go, though, on top, winning a state championship there. And I had a chance to see a little bit of the highlights from that run, and they were behind, actually, and had to come back and win and secure that championship. But, the result only made me more proud of Weslaco High and going up against San Antonio O'Connor. And, they were in the brink of taking it to a game 3, almost came away with a win in game 2 there. And knowing the fact that they played against the eventual state champions,
right,
and gave them a really good series.
No, that's very, very good insight there, Mike. And Mike, Haley now coming to the plate. She's a pretty good player, isn't she?
Yeah, 349 batting average. You mentioned one of the key contributors from last year with 2 home runs, 24 RBIs. Does have 10 doubles and 3 triples, and is still a junior. So she is coming back last year. She's coming back next year, I beg your pardon.
I know.
Last year she made a big contribution.
They lost 7 players last year, so kind of rebuilding a little bit, but more like reloading with some of the talent out there. And that is going to be hit in the gap between right and center. It is going to score 1 run. It's going to be a double and actually score 2 runs. So Haley Carter gets 2 RBIs on her double, and we have Asso coming in, and before her we have Fish, and all of a sudden, bottom of the first, it's tied 2-all. So a very timely hit.
Yeah, and this is where I think the 220 helped San Antonio O'Connor here, because the ball went all the way to the wall there, and Lola Reyes had to really go out there and get it. And Fish scored easily from second, and Hasso scored easily from first.
Right.
So now we're tied again at 2-2.
Another young lady coming to the plate, the center fielder, a sophomore, number 19, Trinity Lunsford. Another young lady who, again, was a contributor last year as a starter.
282 batting average with 2 home runs, 22 RBIs. Does have 6 doubles and 3 triples to her arsenal, but you mentioned only a sophomore, so last year she was a freshman.
Well, good balance. 2 homers, as you mentioned, 6 doubles and 3 triples. So she can definitely get extra base hits.
Yeah, she puts the ball in play, that's for sure, and she does a lot of damage. But yeah, keep an eye on the center field area, because there's going to be a lot of room there for both center fielders.
And the wind could play a factor here. That's going to be popped up, and it is going to be an out. I believe the shortstop got it, right, Lexi? Okay, so Lexi got it for the 3rd out, and in the inning, we had 2 runs, 2 hits, no errors, and I believe, was there 1 left on base?
1 left on base.
Yeah, 1 left on base, so we have played 1 complete. It's 2-all between the Lady Panthers of Weslaco and the Lady Panthers of O'Connor. And, Mike, it's a little bit exciting today, right? Going to score some runs.
Yeah, wow. And, with the wind still blowing hard to the left field corner here, let's see which pitcher is going to make the adjustment. And, it always comes down to pitching and defense, especially in the playoffs. And, so far we have 2 players that have contributed for one for each team that have come up with that big hit.
And by the way, in the bi-district round, both teams were able to score some runs. That was, of course, the round before the area round. O'Connor, they shut out Laredo Alexander, 2 straight games in 3-game set, 10-0 and 7-0. And Mike, of course, with Joe, covered the Weslaco series against PSJA. And Weslaco won those games by big scores, 12-5 and 15-5. And we mentioned already what happened in the area round for both teams. And, of course, you win this, you go to another round. There's a lot of rounds. Girls softball in Texas goes well into June if you get to the state championship.
Yeah, I mean...
State championship round.
Absolutely. I mean, it goes past graduation. As a matter of fact, I remember last year's game 2 against O'Connor was graduation night, actually. Yeah. So, yeah, this goes into June. If you're fortunate enough to go all the way, it goes. You begin your season, in February, and it goes all the way to June.
And you got to understand, too, you got coaches with different levels of experience. Megan Lowe, very good coach. I can just see by talking to her, she's going to have a good career ahead of her. But, of course, let's not take anything away from Mario Rodriguez. He's been around for 17 years for Weslaco.
Oh, 17 years in Weslaco, and hometown boy, and taking his program.
And you know what? You're walking me into this, too, as we get here to begin the bottom of the second. One of his biggest accomplishments, you know what it is?
Taking the team to state?
Well, that it would be, but being the father of this young lady.
Yeah,
okay.
Right here.
Yes, his daughter's up, Mia Rodriguez. She has started all 3 years, played outfield as a freshman, second baseman, number 34, a junior.
Comes in with a 3 out of 17 in the playoffs. Does have one home run, and that was in game 1 against PSJA with 2 RBIs. Does have a walk to her credit. She was starting to get going in the Eagle Pass series. We hope that continues.
And we have a pitching change. Tivoli Martinez is in there.
Good call.
She, of course, has played a lot of games. Both Tivoli and her teammate, the starter tonight, they both played in the Los Fresnos games, each one, I think, over 3 innings. But Tivoli in there.
And we saw this with Eagle Pass, and I wonder if this is one of the things that that Coach Megan Lowe, that maybe she wrote on her notes. She noticed that Eagle Pass was, changing the pitchers every few innings or so.
Well, and so let me get on Tivoli really quick here. She has a drop ball, a curve. She won the game against Los Fresnos, and that's going to be popped up into center field, and it is going to go over the center fielder's head, and there's Mia getting on base with a double. Had a couple walks in the last series, but now maybe this is going to be her moment. Remember, the coach said to some of the players that struggled in the last series, take the opportunity in this round of the playoffs.
Yeah, and we talked about center field. Once again, hit to the deepest part of the ballpark. Trinity Lunsford looks like she misjudged it.
Yes.
She took a few steps forward, and then she saw the ball was going over her head, so she had to make that adjustment, but it was too late by then, and the ball drops for a double for Mia Rodriguez, and a great start to the series.
Romy Nunez, catcher, number 22, a junior. Of course, with the injury to Clarissa, she's back in the catching position, had been a DP, has played first base in her career. Very, very versatile player, and she comes to the plate.
6 out of 15 in the postseason so far with no home runs, 2 RBIs. She does have 2 triples, though.
Right.
And we were talking about last year's game. She was actually the hitter that hit the grounder to second base, and there was a play to first for out number 2, and then there was a play at home where Mia Rodriguez was trying to score from third, and the umpire called her out. And minutes after the game, we got hold of a picture where it showed clearly the catcher, and you mentioned it was Miko Dominguez, actually missed Mia. But in softball and baseball, we all know it's a judgment call.
It's a judgment call.
There are no replays. Unfortunately, it wasn't the right call, but hey, we got to live with it. And as a matter of fact, Scott, in talking to Coach Rodriguez before the start of the game, I even asked him, I go, did you guys even talk about last year's series at all? He goes, no, not at all. He's more
probably the best thing.
Yeah, it is. It is the best thing to just think about moving forward. And it's a different team.
Right.
It is a different team that they're facing, and it's a different round as well.
2-1 the count. That's going to be outside. 3-1. Mia Rodriguez, of course, started off the inning with a double. By the way, we'll call her Tiv. That's what she goes by. The pitcher Martinez. She went 3 2/3 innings in that win against Los Fresnos. She gave up 5 hits, 3 runs, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts. And that is going to be a ball. So 2 runners on base to begin the second inning, top of the second. And that's good news. But now we got a player that we mostly see as a courtesy runner. Emma or Emily Galvan. Galva, is it Galva? Am I saying-
Galvan.
Galvan?
Yes.
Okay, Galvan. Emily Galvan is up. She is number 10 and a junior. Know much about her?
Well, other than that, she's a courtesy runner. I
Right.
believe she got 1 or 2 at-bats
Okay.
during the postseason. Unfortunately, I didn't write any notes about her, so I apologize for that. But she's mostly notable for her base running ability, and especially. Speaking of that, we have a courtesy runner at first, which is Kyra Sosa.
Okay.
Now at first base.
And she's a very good fielder, by the way. Sometimes she gets put in. That's one of her specialties. She goes into left field. We saw that in the game, the third game against Eagle Pass. She played some in the outfield because of her skills as an outfielder.
And as a matter of fact, I've seen it done like twice actually.
Right.
I saw it.
And that's going to be a bunt at home plate, and it's going to be a throw to first. That is going to be an out, but the runners advance to second and third. So nice job moving the runners along by Galvin, and of course, nice play by Carter to get the ball and throw it to first.
Great piece of hitting by Galvan, absolutely. Just put it there in front of the home plate. And we talk about the speed of the Lady Panthers when we have good base runners there. So she did her job there. And this gives Dela Hinojosa an opportunity, and she's having a great postseason so far. Only a freshman. 5 for 12 with no home runs, 1 RBI, and 5 singles.
And she is going to slap hit that ball. It's going to be a run to throw to third from first or to first, and it is dropped, and that is going to score a run. And again, we see Hinojosa get to second, right?
I believe she was called out.
Okay.
Mia was called out.
Mia called out?
Yeah. So Coach Rodriguez did send her home.
Yes.
Very similar to last year where it was a ground ball to first, and then he sends her on a little delay there. But,
So would that be 3-2 on the out?
Yeah, I believe so.
I think it was first to catcher. So Mia's out. The ball was dropped. So we now have...
And Dela ends up at second.
Dela's at second.
Because there was first.
But would that be an error? That would be an error.
There was an error at third.
An error on the throw from third.
First baseman.
And so Hinojosa gets to second. And now Romy's at third. Okay.
It's a Sosa at third.
Sosa at third. I'm sorry, the courtesy runner. You're right.
And Dela Hinojosa's at second.
Yeah,
so
and
still 2 on.
And Ortiz is up. Ortiz is up.
Correct.
Okay, so we got it all straightened out. Madeline Cantu, obviously the flex player, the pitcher. So Andrea Ortiz up with runners at second and third, but we have 2 outs, and that'll be fouled off. So it looked like a run was going to score because of the error. Again, we'll recap this. An errant throw to first base. Mia obviously was going to try to score.
And with that being said, let's just give the Panthers of O'Connor credit for the heads-up play.
Yeah, they
to the throw at home.
Yeah.
Because even though there was a mistake or an error at third, I beg your pardon, at first base,
yes,
they made the throw to home, knowing that Rodriguez was trying to score.
And that's a big swinging strike. And that is going to be the end of the inning. So in that inning, we had no runs, 1 hit, no error, 2 left on base. And we played 1.5 innings. It's all tied up at 2 between O'Connor and Weslaco. This is a KWES production. So again, a little bit of a heartbreak in that half inning. We thought that maybe we'd get some runs in, but just didn't quite work out. And again, though, it's good to see that we're able to get runners on, and we'll be back in just a moment. What? What's up? He wants our mics closer. Okay, that's fine.
You're good.
And we are back, Robstown, Texas, at the high school. Team's known as the cotton pickers here. That's a big part of the industry here, a big agricultural community. And coming up now, we get things moving along. And that is going to be
Number 17 is the
Yeah. All right. Araceli Alonso's up. A 9th grader, outfielder. And that'll be tap foul.
Unfortunately, I don't have any records of
Right.
her.
Yeah.
I kind of wrote down the names
Right.
of the players that have made the most contributions there. So
It's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
But, the coach has enough confidence in her to put her in the lineup in a third-round game.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, can't argue that. Some good pitches today from Cantu, huh?
Yeah, she looks pretty good out there. I mean, even though she gave up a walk, though, she looks comfortable in the circle.
Overcast. It was sunny when we got here to get things set up. And, wow, the pitcher has it. We always talk about Cantu in other games, how good she is as a fielder, and that's a 1-3 out. Got the ball, kind of looked like a snow cone there.
Yeah.
And got it out of her glove and threw it to first.
She doesn't have a lot of strikeouts in the playoffs, but she's made tremendous plays in the circle as a couple of ground balls have gone her way, and her defense as well have come up with some big-time plays there.
Yeah.
And so that's an example right there of Madeline Cantu using her athleticism there at first base. Not at first base, but in the circle to get that first out.
And up now is the second baseman, number 3, Kaylin Rodriguez.
And she comes in with a 250 batting average with a 1 home run, 14 RBIs. She does have 2 doubles and 1 triple. Is a senior and was part of the roster in last year's state championship team.
And the winds again, I guess they got to be close to 20 miles an hour now. Wouldn't you guess it's picked up?
It's still gusting pretty hard, yeah.
At least the gusts. And that is going to be hit in the gap between center and right. And that is going to be a 1-out double for Rodriguez.
Going the other way to right center there. Great piece of hitting. And we've noticed that O'Connor loves to hit. They're at the gap, and they're kind of, with all that space out there.
Ella DeLuna's up. She's a freshman, number 9. She, I think, has their best average, and you'd wonder why she's batting number 9. She's a slap hitter. And we asked their coach, and Coach Lowe said, well, she wants that strength at the bottom of the order to set things up for the top. That's an unusual philosophy, but I guess it works for her.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of coaches like to do that.
Yeah,
we see
she slaps it to third, and the third baseman in, 5-3. Now the runner from second will try to get to third and does slide in safely.
But we see what Lexi did first when she got the grounder. She was already playing in, expecting a slap to her side there. And the first thing she did was to look at the base runner, then made the throw to first. However, Rodriguez is fast enough to go from second to third there and just beat the throw there. So Megan Lowe, pretty aggressive there in allowing Rodriguez to go from second to third there.
Right.
Took a little gamble there, but it paid off.
Right. And now we're back to the top of the order. Another slap hitter, Savannah Pope. So you would say that out was what, 6'3"?
6'3" from short to first.
All right, okay. Want to make sure I had that correct.
Yes.
So 6'3", and Savannah Pope is up, who actually was out. Guess what?
6'3".
Got you ready for that one, didn't I? Set you up. All right. It's 1-2, and that is going to be slapped into left field, right in front of the left fielder. And coming in is Rodriguez. So her aggressive base running pays off because she would not have been able to score on that hit if she was at second.
That's a great point because the infield was actually in from the corners, and the left fielder was also in as well. So it was just a one-hopper there. But nevertheless, Rodriguez, already at third base, just needed to jog home 60 feet instead of from second base. So big RBI single for Pope.
Pope gets the RBI and the single. 1 for 2 now. Coming up is Miko Dominguez, and she flied out her first time up. That is going to be a grounder to second, and Mia Rodriguez will get it to Elizabeth Craig easily for the third out of the inning. So in that inning, we had 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, and no one left, right? Or 1 left. One left. So we have played 2 complete, and it is 3-2 right now. The designated home team is leading, and that is O'Connor over Weslaco. This is a KWES production. Well, Mike, again, kind of manufactured that run. When you say, we've talked about that before, how sometimes you manufacture runs. Weslaco is very good at doing that, but this time someone took a page from their book.
Yeah, absolutely. And we talk about how aggressive the Lady Panthers are, or Weslaco, that is, on base running. Well, that was an example there. We saw O'Connor kind of do the same thing. And so we're kind of getting a good taste of Megan Lowe's strategy there. And it really paid off, taking a gamble there. And, hey, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But it worked to their benefit this time.
And Tiv is going to still be in there pitching. And again, that doesn't mean by any means that we won't see Talia Reyes come back in, because she does that.
But keep in mind, we did see Talia take some warm-up throws.
Yeah, I wonder when that, I think it was a bunt, and she was running toward it. She didn't actually field it, but she was running toward it. I think it was the unassisted out at first, and maybe she pulled a muscle or something. We're only speculating. We have no idea.
Sure. I mean, there's no way. We don't have a sideline report or anything like that. But, yeah, we could only speculate. But, yeah, that's just something to keep an eye on there. But yeah, you're right. Tivali is still in the circle.
Yeah. And, again, we have Lola Reyes. As a matter of fact, it was Lola on that unassisted play by the first baseman where maybe Talia stretched something she didn't want to, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That was on Lola's first time up. This will be her second time up again. Grounded out to first, unassisted her first time. We talked about that great play or great game she had in Eagle Pass, against Eagle Pass in the third game where she had 4 hits and 2 RBIs. And she's going to slap it to the pitcher. Pitcher has it, throws to first. Now, I will tell you this, Tiv had to be perfect on picking that ball up and executing the play, or Lola would have beaten it out. Instead, it's an out 1-3.
Yeah, and we saw the kind of arm strength she has as well. The way she delivered it to first base, did a great job there. And the scouting report on her statistically is that she has a 3-1 record with a 2.86 ERA in 17 appearances. 44 innings pitched there. Does have 43 strikeouts, but has walked 21.
Alexis Solis up, popped out her first time up. And Junior, I've always liked her. She's really a gutsy player, isn't she?
Yeah, I agree. She's a gutsy player, and she's come through with some big hits. Speed. She's very fast in the bases. Very smart player.
And that's going to be a strike.
And we've seen her work the count as well. At times we've seen the Lady Panthers aggressive at the plate, and other times we've seen them patient there. I know in Game 2, I think they were a little more patient against Eagle Pass than in the other games.
1-1 the count, and that's going to be slapped to third. Barely fair, but it's going to be a 5-3 out. Nice throw that time to get the out. Haley Carter gets it down to first quickly enough. And so 2 up, 2 down. And that is going to bring up Elizabeth Craig, who had the home run the first time up.
Yeah, home run to get the fireworks going for the Lady Panthers.
2-run homer, if I recall.
2-run homer there. But you saw O'Connor playing a little in from the corners there. And we talk about the speed of the Lady Panthers of Weslaco and how fast they are. So, again, those little things that I think they see in the scouting report.
That's a strike. One thing I will say, in the early going, of course, we all know Weslaco's got a good defensive team, but I got to give some props to O'Connor on defense.
Very, very smart. Like, I notice how quickly they get to the ball, and they're very strong in their deliveries.
That's low, 1-1 the count. And the Weslaco boys are playing this evening, too, aren't they?
Yeah, I believe it's 0-0 in the bottom of the third inning was the last report I got.
Okay, Joey's doing that game.
And they're playing San Antonio O'Connor as well on the baseball side of things.
And do you know where they are?
Tonight they are in Weslaco.
Okay, in Weslaco. All right.
And the series will resume Saturday for Game 2 in San Antonio. Game 3, if needed, will be 30 minutes after.
Gotcha. 2-1 the count. Here's the pitch, and that is going to be pop foul.
So we've seen the pitchers for both for O'Connor, both pitchers, Reyes and Martinez. They're not very overpowering.
No, they're not.
But they're very good at their locations.
Yeah, they got good curves.
Yeah.
One has a good drop pitch. One has a good riser. That's going to be low. She was trying to get it hit the bottom of the strike zone. Didn't quite get there, though.
Yeah, I was trying that inside corner. It looked like, and the catcher kind of had her glove. Was trying to position it at
3-2.
the right spot.
Let's see if Elizabeth, she's going to tap that one. And what a dive! What a dive to make that out. Wow, you got to give some credit to the second baseman on that play, Kaylin Rodriguez.
It was a line drive there. Almost got by her, but you see the pitcher there take something off of that pitch, Martinez, and Craig kind of chased a little bit, but was still able to hit it hard enough to almost take it to right field for a base hit.
So in that half inning, no runs, no hits, no errors, no one left on base. We've played 2.5, and it is O'Connor over Weslaco 3-2. And we'll get ready now to see what will happen in the bottom of the inning. Of course, as we know, this is a 7-inning scheduled game. We got some nice breezes. Keep in mind, potentially, as far as heat, the main problem will be if there's a third game on Saturday. That's a 2 o'clock start. Tomorrow, if you're traveling over here, it'll be a 6:30 start. Robstown, very easy to get to. It's right off a lot of highways. South of Corpus Christi, what, about 10 miles maybe?
It's actually west of
Corpus
Christi.
Okay.
Yeah, about maybe 10, 15 miles from it. Off the, what is it, the 77? Up to 77 if you're coming from Cameron County, Willacy County, up that way. That's the regular routine to take.
So, got to kind of get back in here, but first of all, you got to stay strong on defense. A lot of runs scored early, but maybe everybody's going to settle down, and it might take a 1 run or 2 to get this victory by either team. So, we are now in the bottom of the third inning, and Emily Fish will come to the plate. And Emily, we got kind of busy, big swing and a strike. She's a pretty good player, isn't she? We didn't get to talk much about her stats the first time around.
Yeah, 3 home runs, leads the team with 33 RBIs, also leads the team, has 6 doubles, 5 triples, and comes in with a .425 batting average.
And that is going to be over to second base, and Mia has it. Rodriguez throws to Elizabeth Craig very quickly and out, 4-3. Now, we're seeing a lot of wins. Would I say here, and I'm not a meteorologist, but a ball hit to left field is going to be helped by the wind, right?
Yeah, and then we saw a perfect example of that with Elizabeth
that's what I'm
Craig
saying,
there. But it carried and carried and carried, and it went out of the ballpark there. So we see the wind. It's, you see the flags dead center, and it's still blowing pretty hard.
Emilio also is up. She walked and scored. Ball 1. And again, we're not sure the exact winds, but I think there's gusts probably at least 20 miles an hour.
I'd say that's pretty accurate.
Because I said 10 miles an hour, that might be the regular wind, but these gusts are much more than that. 1-1 the count.
Nice pitch there by Cantu. Got the right in the middle of the plate on the upper side there. Great job by Romy.
Yeah, that's one thing, even though Clarissa's out right now, you really have a good catcher there in Romy.
A lot of experience there. And we saw her in the first 4 games of the playoffs.
Yeah. 2-1. Of course, Clarissa, she plays on the Mexican 15 under national team. Has a lot of international experience. And we wish her a quick recovery. She went to Peru earlier this year. Her team came in second to the United States. Plans a couple trips to Japan, including Tokyo, with that 15 and under team later this year.
Yeah, I think she said it was done over the Easter holidays when she made that trip. Missed a little bit of school.
Yeah, and that's going to be a fly ball. It'll go to right field, and it's going to be an out. So we now have 2 outs.
Great job
on that play. Go ahead.
Great job by Ortiz there, calling everybody out and putting the glove out. Yeah, because we got to keep an eye with the wind, the way it's still blowing. You know, that's going to play a factor to see how the players adjust to it. But Ortiz, the freshman, with a fine play out there in right field.
She's a good defensive player from what I've seen.
Yeah, she's made some tremendous plays there at the right field position.
Haley Carter up. She doubled her last time up. As we know, she's a veteran. Doesn't surprise us by her ability.
349 batting average with 2 home runs and 24 RBIs.
I think the most homers anybody has on this team, I think, is 3. I think a couple girls
and
got
that's
that.
from Fish and Dominguez.
That's going to be popped up. Out of play.
So with 2 up and 2 down, it'd be nice if Madeline Cantu can get a 1-2-3 here in the third.
Yeah. And I know the young man, or whatever, I shouldn't say young, we don't know his age, but the gentleman that's doing the sound effects and announcing had a broken glass sound effect on that last foul ball. Now, I brought my own car, and you can be assured that I parked it far away from the field. I used to work in minor league ball in Mobile, Alabama, and a lot of the cars were parked for the media right behind where they'd get fouled back, from home plate.
we had to take a little walk over here.
Yeah, but no, our cars are safe. But I've seen broken windows from cars before, believe it or not, from balls going out. So, all right. 2 balls and 2 strikes. I think both pitchers are all pitchers. I'd say there's been 3 of them. They've had pretty good control today, don't you say? All 3 that have been in this game.
Yeah, I like their composure. I like their confidence. But the runs that we've seen so far, you just got to give credit to the hitters.
Yeah, some nice hitting. And as you can suspect, talking to Coach today, Coach Lowe, their new coach, that's outside, by the way, 3 and 2. Yes, they use modern technology, even though this is high school. They look at video, things like that, all right? It's all very, very modern and up to date. So this is a big, important pitch. And it's a swinging strike. That was sweet. So in the inning, 3 up, 3 down, no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. We've played 3 complete here at Robstown, and it is O'Connor, the designated home team 3, Weslaco 2. This is a KWES production. And Mike, you saw Cantu that time. She seems to just get stronger with the games go on. And, of course, we said this in the last series. Once somebody gets to this level of their freshman year, they're really not a freshman anymore except in name. I mean, you've earned your stripes or whatever you want to say. So, again, Cantu just continues to impress me more and more.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. Once the playoffs start, school year-wise, we're ready in the month of May anyway. But, you're no longer a freshman. You're no longer a sophomore or junior. You just you're now a veteran player. You're seasoned. And, and especially that point is strong with the freshmen and sophomores that are in the varsity level.
And, of course, O'Connor, school's named after Sandra Day O'Connor, former Supreme Court Justice. And here comes the Weslaco girls for the first time tonight with the Panther hat and the unicorn. Even Coach Lowe, Megan, told us she was impressed by Weslaco's spirit. Because remember, she scouted them when they played Eagle Pass. And she likes the spirit of the girls and their enthusiasm.
The energy, the enthusiasm and the energy, and the way they feed off of it.
Well, we go to the 4th inning now on KWES. Lexi Escamilla's up to lead things off, the one senior on the team. So let's hope she can get things going here. And again, Lexi, always enjoy talking to her. She did strike out, by the way, her first time, but always very pleasant to chat with.
Very well spoken. Always has a smile on her face.
Yeah, she smiled and waved us when she came in today.
Yeah, very positive.
Yeah.
And, her big sister played earlier today.
Right.
I was trying to
She's
see
in some kind of district playoffs or something at the college level?
Right.
Yeah.
I know the team won.
All
I
right.
talked to her father. The team did win, and they're playing. They're going to play tomorrow, I think. And if they win that game, I think they advance to the championship.
Gotcha. 1-2 the count.
A great time for the Escamilla family.
Yes. And, of course, you know them well. Very nice people. That's going to be a ball.
Her parents are actually here for tonight's game. Last week, they went to go see Audrey play. So they
kind of go back and forth.
Yeah. And Alyssa actually was at Jordanton to see Lexi play. So I imagine maybe she went to go see her sister at Audrey. Maybe there's some kind of rotation or so. That's a smart thing to do.
They've got their own rotation, just like pitchers.
Right.
Okay. That is going to be a call, third strike, unfortunately. So Lexi strikes out again, and there's one out. Caught the outside corner.
Yeah, but I like Lexi's attitude where even though she's 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts, she's still going up to Mia and say, hey, let's go.
I like that. Mia Rodriguez, who has been in a bit of a slump, but she came out of it today and got that big double. So maybe this is big things for her this series.
Yeah, that double she got was straight to center. She hit it about, 215 feet. She almost hit it to the deepest part of the ballpark out of here.
Outside, ball one.
Ball one. And we get a chance between innings. You were talking about the things that the Escamillas are doing. I'll talk a little bit about what Kat Reyes is doing in the postseason. It's over now for her, but she's had quite a postseason. And that's going to be outside.
Great patience there by Mia.
Yes.
Went to the outside trying to get Mia to chase, but she did it there. Thought about it, but great job.
Good focus by the batters for Weslaco. That's going to be a strike.
And that's the dangerous thing about those pitchers that are off speed, or they come with the curves, or the rise ball there, is they take something off of it, and you can tell that Mia was a little fooled there. You know, we've seen more power throughout the playoffs from the pitchers.
2-1 the count.
Outside,
3-1. Let's see if Mia can get on. She had a good eye in that last series, had a couple walks against Eagle Pass.
Yeah, and you brought up the good point that when you're struggling, sometimes, you know, if you just stay patient, if you can draw a walk, that'll get you going. And I think that's exactly what happened.
And that is going to be a swinging strike. But it was a good, confident swing.
Yeah, she's kind of nodding her head up and down like, hey, I think that was just a good pitch there.
Yeah.
You just got to give credit
Sometimes
to the
you got to
pitcher.
give the pitcher credit.
Absolutely.
Kind of like being an echo for you, but you're right. And that was a good eye. That was outside. So with one out, a walk.
Rodriguez wins that battle, draws the walk, puts herself safely over at first base with one out. For the batter, the catcher, number 22.
Romy Nunez up. She walked her only appearance so far tonight. And right now, I don't know if they're going to make any adjustments, but maybe I don't know if they're going to put a courtesy runner in, but I know that Maya Rodriguez talking to the umpire.
Yeah, I see Mia kind of looking into the dugout.
Yeah, they are. Courtesy runner.
Number 20.
Yeah.
So that's Hannah Montelongo.
Okay, she'll come in. And by the way, the Cubbies are going to be in Houston next week. Unfortunately, none of us can make it, but they'll be Monday through Wednesday playing on the Astros turf.
Yeah.
Minute Maid Park.
Unfortunately, they've been coming to Houston because I know now that Houston is in the American League, so they only come.
Right.
If they're scheduled to come to Houston, they come every 4 years.
Yeah.
So the last time was very similar to this, where they came in the middle of the week. So
it's tough.
It's tough for the
originally
working people like us.
Can't. I tried to arrange Monday, but some personal things came up. I can't make it. But again, of course, we're all Cubs fans. We like the Astros too, but may the best team win. But I have to kind of lean toward the Cubs. I grew up in Chicago. So.
Of course. No, and I just bleed.
Yeah,
Cubs.
You do. And that's going to be a steal attempt, and it's in there easily. So nice job by Hannah.
And she picked a perfect pitch to go to as well.
Yeah.
The pitch looked low and away there, and Hannah got a great jump to second there, so there was really no chance to get her out.
1 ball, 1 strike is the count on the batter.
1 ball, 1 strike.
And Nunez with 2 RBIs in the playoffs. Opportunity here.
And Tiv is still pitching.
You see the Romy kind of doing an excuse me swing, so there's some hesitation there. I think they're still trying to adjust to.
Yeah, wasn't there a movie once
to that style of pitching?
Excuse me.
Right.
Yeah. I think that's from some movie. 1 and 2 the count. I just thought I'd put an exclamation point on that, huh? That's high.
High and inside there.
2 balls, 2 strikes on the batter, Nunez.
And we talk about the dimensions of the field. So a base hit, any kind of base hit, Hannah Montelongo will have a great chance to score.
By the way, always good to see her father. I want to get that in. Alex Bravo said hi to him before the game.
And we're trying to get the outside corner, but you see the outfielders kind of playing deep there. The right fielder not playing that deep, but center fielder, left fielder's playing pretty deep. So any kind of base hit, and Hannah Montelongo should score easily from second.
And it's a 1-run game, so we'll tie it up. Full count. That's low. There's a walk. So we'll see if we get a courtesy runner now, too. I would expect that.
Here we go. Number 6. It's Kyra Sosa once again.
Yeah.
For the batter, designated player number 10, Emma Galvan.
And Emma Galvan is up. Emma getting, I guess, a rare start, right? She's not started that many games this year, has she?
No, not really. At least not in the playoffs.
Right,
not in the playoffs.
right.
She's been more of a courtesy runner here, but she did her job the last time up, advancing the runners here. But, you know, there's also one out again. So let's see what Coach Rodriguez decides to do here. If he gives her a chance to take a swing here.
Yeah. Well, you know what's funny right now? The three primary courtesy runners are all involved in play right now. You got one at the plate and the other two on base. And these three young ladies are the primary ladies who are the courtesy runners for Weslaco.
So if Emily could get on base,
we'd have all three primary courtesy runners
and speed and very good base runners there.
And that is going to be slapped, just foul.
Just barely
down the right field line.
And I'm willing to bet Sosa would have scored from first.
Yes.
Because I was going all the way to the corner there, and the right fielder would have had to really go after that ball there.
A little overcast now, but as far as I know, no threat of rain tonight. From the forecast I saw earlier, now these things change, as we well know. The real first chance of rain is going to be Saturday, but again, things constantly change, so you can't go by what you saw 3 hours before. And that is going to be inside.
Yeah, if you remember, Scott, we were a little nervous about game number 3, I think it was, where they had announced a good chance of rain. Or was it game 2?
I think it was 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
We were concerned.
100% chance of rain for a couple of the hours when the game was going to start that night, but by the time we got there, it was a clear sky.
She checked her swing.
Yeah.
They're going to check, and nope, she didn't swing.
All right, so that would make it 2-2.
But it's worth, asking the umpire down there. But
by the way, on the regular season, how many umpires are there? We have 4 today. Is it 2 or 3 during regular season?
I want to say 3 during
okay,
regular
I think you're
season.
right. And that is going to be slapped right up through center field, and that is going to bring a run home. Nice job at bat that time by Galvan. RBI single.
Second baseman played more toward first, so she was basically in her natural position there. So once they got by the circle there, a lot of room out there.
Right.
And, so we see Montelongo score from second base. And so now runners at first and second, still only 1 out.
Yeah. So Kira Sosa was on second, right? Am I correct on that?
Correct.
Yeah.
And now we're going to have an interesting situation here where strategy is going to be played with Dela Nojosa. We've seen her slap the ball, and we've seen her bunt. She could also hit it to the outfield. She came up with a big hit in game 3.
Right.
So we see the corners there already creeping in a little bit.
Well, she's a freshman, and again, she got on via an error by the third baseman the first time. That's going to be slapped up, and it is going to be caught. The left fielder comes in to foul territory to get the out.
Yeah, it was actually the shortstop.
Shortstop, I'm sorry.
Okay. Position there in foul territory, but
all right.
I think what happened there was Dela kind of got underneath it a little bit there, and the ball was popped up then.
Right.
So the runners remain at first and second.
The leadoff hitter, Andrea Ortiz, is up. She struck out. Also earlier had a 2-base hit and scored. Scored the first run of the game. So see if she can get the lead running as we are in the top of the 4th. And she's going to bounce it infield in, and it's going to be a 5-3 put out to end the top of the 4th. So in the inning, Weslaco ties the score, and they have 1 run, 1 hit, and 2 left on base. We have played 3 1/2, and it's all knotted up with Weslaco and O'Connor 3-all. This is a KWES production, and this has been a lot of fun so far. Seeing what's going on, seeing the closeness of this. But then I guess maybe you should expect the deeper you go into the playoffs, the more exciting it'll be. And as I mentioned, I do want to mention about Kat Reyes. Her season is now over. Remember, she was a star pitcher and shortstop for a while here at Weslaco. And her team, McLennan, was in the Region 5 Junior College Softball Playoffs. They lost early in the double elimination, but came back to win several games and got to the championship game against Grayson on Sunday afternoon, but lost 4-3. And to get there, well, they had to beat teams like Temple College 4-3, Weatherford College 11-0 on Saturday. I think they played both those games both on Friday and Saturday to get to that championship. And Kat has got a lot of honors this year. Her latest one is the North Texas Junior Athletic Conference Pitcher of the Week for April 23rd through the 29th. I know she has been, named an all-conference player as a pitcher and all, I think, region player in the postseason. That's Kat Reyes, Lola's sister. All right. Trinity Lunsford will lead off the bottom of the fourth.
And then we have a defensive substitution there. It looks like Kyra Souza will make her way to
Souza
that field.
there?
Yes, to that field.
And so that would mean that Hinosa coming out. Would I be correct on that?
That is correct.
All right, so Hinosa comes out, and Sosa comes in.
And that's normal.
Yeah.
It's not like she's getting punished or anything like that.
No.
This is part of the strategy.
Well, it's because of the ability at fielding.
Sure.
All right, Trinity Lunsford has that first pitch and puts it into left field for a single. So she leads off with a single to begin the bottom of the fourth inning. Again, we are all knotted up at 3.
And we've seen Sosa make some pretty good catches out there in left field. I know last week she made a catch, I think, in foul territory. So we've seen her make some plays.
Yeah.
And, already they put her to work there as the base hit went straight to her.
So Araceli is up now. Alonzo. And that's going to be fouled. Now, I do want to say one thing, Mike. I know we're both football fans. A lot of people are. Don't have time to do this during the game, but this is the evening where all the NFL schedules get released. They've already released the international games.
So, yeah.
But I don't have time to do it during the game, but if you're interested in that, look it up later tonight on our fans.
As we start a new NFL season here, there's always that hype with the draft. We see another tip foul back, but we had the NFL draft a few weeks ago, and then the next big thing is
they scattered out, and we got some mini camps coming up and a whole bunch of stuff. So they want the NFL to be in the public eye year round, and they do the best they can.
So we had the draft first, and now the release of the schedule is the next big thing that comes out. We have the training camps, and the mini camps, all that stuff.
And that's going to be outside. 1 and 2. When everybody gets to go on their vacations in the NFL? I think it's the first 2 weeks in July. That's the one downtime for the NFL. And then, of course, right after that, training camp opens.
Right. I know the Cowboys have been going to Oxnard, California for the last several years or so, and we'll be going there at the end of July.
Yeah. And that is going to be popped, and it's a good play by the left fielder, but the runner gets back to first.
Yeah, the ball was hit really hard there, but Ortiz got a great jump there at right field and was able to make the catch and then made the throw to Craig at first.
F9, Ortiz with the catch.
So you can't blame Araceli Alonso for that hit there. She put it at a great spot, but just give credit to Ortiz there at right field, making the catch there and getting a good jump and making the play.
Kaylin Rodriguez now at the plate. And that's a strike. I always like umpires like this that are very definitive, very quick and definitive. So, Blue, we give you credit, our home plate umpire. We don't know his name, but doing a nice job.
Be vocal, be loud, use your hands, do both. That's okay. Sometimes we have to wait for about 2 or 3 seconds.
I've made some missed calls doing that, I'll be honest.
Trying to get the inside there, but didn't get the call.
So it's 1 and 1. All knotted up at 3, bottom of the fourth. Remember, advantage right now to O'Connor because they get the last at bat. But, hey, Weslaco gets a big inning, gets a nice lead. Maybe it won't matter. And that is going to be popped up towards center field. And it is gotten in the glove easily by Lola Reyes.
Oh, but she got a good jump once again there, called everybody off. But that ball was also hit pretty hard there to dead center field. And then Lola, in only her sophomore year, I tell you what, she's one of the better center fielders for sure in the district. But as great as she is at the plate, defensively, she's just as effective.
I can't argue with you. So Ella De Luna is here. We talked about her earlier, the fact that, and she made an out her first time up, by the way, that she is the 9th hitter, but also coming into this game, at least in the playoffs, was their top hitter. And she's a slap hitter, but again, we talked about that interesting philosophy of Coach Lowe where she likes to have a strong hitter in the 9th spot to kind of set things up for her top of the order.
Yeah.
That's how she explained it.
Yeah. And with a runner at first, if she's able to get on the base, boom, then you have the top of the lineup just like that.
And they got a lot of boom up there.
Yes, they've already done a couple of booms today.
Boom, boom.
Yeah.
All right. It is now a 2-0 count. Good eye. And DeLuna, just a freshman. I'll tell you, Coach Lowe found some good ones for her first year. She went to UTSA, I know, I think she might go to a couple schools, but UTSA, I think she coached a little bit at UT Arlington during her career. From Clark, didn't she go to high school at Clark in San Antonio? I think may have coached there as an assistant, too. Slapped away.
She actually, I think, was the first assistant at San Antonio because she's a Houston native.
Okay.
And went to I think she went to graduate school at A&M.
All right.
Yeah, she has a pretty strong resume.
Yeah.
But as you mentioned earlier, this is her first head coaching job at the high school
level. I'm trying to remember all the stuff she's done. Very impressive for a lady of her young years. A very nice person, too.
Absolutely.
Really enjoyed talking to her.
Absolutely. She has that smile there down at third base.
Very helpful to us. Very helpful. A slap hit, and it is going to go into center field. And again, good job by Lola to get up there to try to get the runner at second, but the runner was already in. So we have runners now at first and second after DeLuna gets the single.
Yeah, well, we've seen how dangerous O'Connor is.
Right.
On the bases there. So Lola, great job there. And you notice that she threw to second there, just to make sure.
It was closer than you thought. But again, the runner was in there easily, but it still was not, if that runner had let up at all, she could have been out. Let's put it that way.
And Madeline Cantu, we've seen her make some tremendous plays there. Almost got a glove on it.
Right. And that is going to be slapped into left field, but the left fielder was playing up, so run can't score. We just have the bags loaded. Give that hit to Savannah Pope.
See, and the other thing that happened there, Scott, was that the third baseman made an attempt there.
Yeah.
So by the time Sosa got the ball there, she could have had a play at third base, but there was nobody there. So she did the right thing, though, and just not force anything there.
And now you can see why they put Sosa in. Good heads-up play by her. Didn't do anything stupid.
Right.
Good fundamental base, or softball, I should say. Fundamental softball.
Absolutely. So now we have a critical situation here with the bases loaded and 2 outs, and one of their better hitters at the plate.
Mm-hmm.
And she's 0 for 2, so I'm sure she's pretty anxious.
How many hits do we have in this inning so far? Is it 2 or 3?
I have 3.
3, I thought so. Just want to make sure.
All singles.
All singles. I just want to make sure.
Yeah. Like the first two outs was a liner to right field, and then an F8. Those were hit harder, I think, than the 3 singles we've had here.
Good point, Mike. So bags are jammed with 2 outs. And that is popped up, and that is going to fall into left field, and we are going to have 2 runs score. Play at third, not in time, and the runner at first will move to second on the throw. So Miko Dominguez, who is a great hitter, gets a single, advances on the throw to second base. 2 runners come in on that single. She gets 2 RBIs. So we have runners at the corners, first and third with 2 outs, and Emily Fish up.
Yeah, 2 outs. 2-out hit there. Big time delivery by Dominguez there. And
5-3 now the score.
We saw Eagle Pass do this in game 2 of the area round. And O'Connor.
I said runners in the corner. I forgot that she had moved up to second. So actually, runners both in the scoring position.
Yeah, we still give her credit for a single.
Yeah, we give her a single. I forgot
that throw.
On the throw, she moved up, And that's going to be fouled back. Emily Fish had a single and also grounded out.
Yeah, Val almost had a souvenir back there.
By the way, our great crew we worked with last week, once again, Val Zamora, our videographer, and Adrian De Leon. He, of course, streams it and produces it. These are great guys to work with, great guys to travel with. Very professional. And that's going to be fouled off.
So, we talked about how there's no protection over us.
Yes.
Unlike in Jordanton where there's a canopy to take those foul balls back there. Well, I say after tonight's game that we'd find a Walmart or an Academy or something and buy some gloves. And we could all get some souvenirs by the time all this is over.
I'm not going to argue that.
But Cantu with a big 0-2 count ahead of the hitter.
Fish pops it up. And, I was talking to Coach Rodriguez about the fact that Cantu pitched so many innings, I think all but 1 in that, or all but 2. In game 2, she took a couple innings off. in that Eagle Pass series. He says it's just the mechanics of softball. Again, I've only done this really for a couple of years, and he said just the arm movements don't put as much stress on your arm as baseball does. So there's no pitch limits, and young ladies can go a lot farther into games, do a lot more games back-to-back than, say, a baseball pitcher could.
And I love what she told me after the game last week.
Ball.
A high pitch there, but I asked her about her arm and how she was feeling. He was like, well, I do have bruising there, but she was like, but she did not want to come out. She wanted to pitch in that critical game 3. Yeah. And she came through. She came through big time and got the victory and brought Weslaco High an area championship.
Made the city proud. That's going to be low, 2-2 the count.
He's trying to get the outside corner,
right.
So yeah, I'm assuming it was just a little too far outside there, and yeah, maybe a little low as well. But it was a pretty good pitch for a 1-2 count. That was a very good pitch.
And that is going to be hit down left field. Foul. Got some good pop on that, but it's foul.
So Fish comes in with, you talked about the home runs. She came in tied lead for the team lead at 3 and leads the team with 33 RBIs.
So definitely strong at the plate. Here comes the pitch from the circle. It's popped up towards center field. Lola's back. She has it, and that is the third out. But the damage has been done. In that inning, 2 runs, 4 hits, no errors, 2 left on base. We have played 4 complete, and it is O'Connor of San Antonio 5, Weslaco 3. This is a KWES production. So kind of a manufactured inning. You mentioned a couple outs early were hard-hit balls, and even that last out was a fairly hard-hit pitch. But the runs that came in were all created and then driven in by singles. 4 singles in that inning, and that is it. So 5-3 the score. But Weslaco has shown in this game so far they're able to put runs on base. By the way, Mike, how are we doing at Weslaco right now?
Well, the last update I got was 0-0 at the end of 4 innings.
And how appropriate. Weslaco comes out in their little outfits and their mascot heads, the unicorn, and we also see the panther among others, and they come out to an old Cyndi Lauper tune, her first big hit from the mid-'80s.
How fitting.
Girls just want to have fun, and wasn't she recently inducted into one of those Music Hall of Fames, too?
Oh, wow. I did not know that.
I think so.
Yeah.
Or at least she's up for induction. At least either that or she's up for induction in one of them.
But she brought in a lot of hits
and,
in her heyday.
And again, since we're doing sports tonight, and I know this is more sports entertainment, but she was really involved in the mid-'80s helping the WWF, as it was called back then, the WWE, to be popular because she had wrestlers, I think, in a couple of her music videos. Captain was Lou Albania, something like that.
Right.
He was a popular wrestler in that era.
Was he the gentleman with the curly hair?
Yeah, and I think he had a nose ring.
Yes, I remember him, yes.
Lou Albania, maybe. I know we need Vinny Berry here, our wrestling expert.
Yeah, he's our wrestling guy. Yeah, he would break it down for us.
Right. All right, we are now going in the top of the 5th, and Lola Reyes is up. We know she's always dangerous. And one thing I love that you told me, and I kind of looked at you strangely because I did not do the games in the first round by district. You said she had a home run. No, hold on. Let me finish this first. I said, home run? She's a slap hitter, but of course it was inside the park. You got me on that one. So she fouls that one off.
Yeah, and she hit it to right field.
Right.
And it went all the way to the corner there.
Yeah.
And with her speed, she was able to score easily.
Right. Yeah.
And I believe it was a 3-run inside the park home run.
That was fun.
I know there was at least one base runner there. Yeah, that was a fun play.
I've seen a couple. I didn't see any for a lot of years. I've seen a couple in the last years. This was in baseball, not softball, for sure. I know I saw, did I see one when I saw Weslaco play before? I got to think about that. But I definitely saw one in the last couple of years when I saw the San Antonio Missions play. And by the way, for people that are San Antonio fans of their minor league team, Stu Paul is a good friend of mine. He is the play-by-play voice of the Missions, and I make a point of at least going to one Missions game every year to say hi to Stu. And I believe he's a big, New York Mets fan, sort of like Mike's a big Cubs fan. He's a New Yorker, native New Yorker, Stu Paul, and I think I'm not sure it's Yankees or Mets, but I think it's Mets.
Or maybe both.
Maybe
Who knows?
both, yeah.
Maybe he likes them
Yeah,
both.
yeah. But
If he's from New York.
Yeah. Stu Paul, and done that many years, been the voice of the San Antonio Missions. All right, the count is 1-2. Here's the pitch, and that's low. And I'll tell you, love to see Lola get on because, you know, she's just very dangerous on the base paths.
So it'd be great to have that leadoff hitter on. Absolutely. Right. Absolutely. And that's what they need right now is they need base runners. They've had opportunities, though, throughout the game. So,
and that's going to be slapped toward first. First baseman has it, throws to the second baseman. Cannot get it there cleanly. I won't call that an error, even though the second baseman dropped it, because Lola was coming so very hard down the base path.
Her speed, just
got to give that an infield hit.
We see a perfect example of it there. And so O'Connor kind of hesitates there, trying to make the play.
Well, the first baseman came in, tried to get it, threw it to the second baseman, running very quickly, and just couldn't hold it under the glove. But again, Lola was coming hot and heavy down the base pass.
Yeah,
and, you know, there was no way you were going to catch her on that.
And
one.
after going 4 for 4 in Game 3,
right,
she gets her first hit of the third round.
Very good. That's going to be another bunt attempt, and of course, that is by Alexis Solis, right?
That is correct, Alexis Solis. So I want to see if you can answer this question for me, Scott. I'm going to kind of put you on a Scott a little bit. We're going to have a little bit of fun here, but we're here in Robstown.
Yeah. Oh, you're going to ask me something about Robstown, like I know?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to see if you know.
I think we got that answer already.
There is a very famous NFL player, former NFL player. We have a ground ball here.
Yeah, that is going to be a 6-4, and not a 6-4-3 runner. Outran the throw. That's Solis, but Lola was forced at second.
Right.
Yeah, fielder's choice for Alexis Solis.
So there's a famous former NFL player from Robstown.
Oh, you got me on that.
That's a Hall of Famer.
All right.
Okay,
I want to know.
Here's your next clue. He played for the Oakland Raiders in the 70s.
Well, Kenny Stabler is a friend of mine, but he's from Alabama. I know that already from the Mobile area. All right.
Okay.
I could go. And Ray Guy, I know, is a great punter.
Yeah.
I know him a little bit, but I don't want to go too long on this. So I'll.
Yes. Gene Upshaw.
Oh, Gene Upshaw. And he's a great guy when it comes to labor unions. He was very much involved with the labor unions.
He is a native of Robstown.
All right, he was much when they had all the early collective bargaining and all that many years ago.
Right.
He was very involved after his playing days.
Right.
By the way, Elizabeth Craig is up, 1-1. No, that's great. Yeah, I would never have gotten that, but it was a great question, Mike. I give you credit on that. What is this? The junior livestock capital of Texas or something, or the world or something? I saw a sign coming into Robstown.
Yeah, I know there was a rest. I don't think it's open anymore, but for many years there was a famous barbecue place opened here.
Cool.
But I think they closed it some years ago, and I heard that stars would actually go to that restaurant.
Right. You got
and I don't remember the name of it. I completely forgot. But
2-1 the count. You're very informative.
I try to be.
Yeah. So maybe you have a fancy dinner place picked out tonight, unique, huh? All right. Here we go. That's going to be outside. Keep in mind, should Elizabeth get on, we'll have the tying run on base. Lead run at the plate. 3-1 again.
And that's what you want to do is to get on base and have the senior, give the senior a chance who's come through with some big-time hits. She's kind of struggled a little bit, but she has delivered in the big moments.
Yes. Elizabeth taps that foul. Always nice to talk with her dad. We saw her mom today, too, didn't we?
Yeah, we saw her mom and dad before the game. They always come say
Ike,
hello to us.
Her dad.
But how fitting, Scott. This is Craig's third appearance at the plate. All 3 times she's had a 3-2 count.
Yeah.
So she's made the pitcher work.
So here's the pitch. And that's going to be popped up. Short center. Center fielder has it. And that will be an out.
So, we saw Solis kind of go halfway, and she had to stop because we weren't sure the center fielder was going to make the play there.
The wind could have played tricks with that.
Sure.
Did not, though. And that is an out.
And I want to say the wind is starting to come down a little bit. It's not gusting like the way it was earlier in the game.
Lunsford caught it.
Yeah. The sun is starting to go down now as we approach 8 o'clock.
Right.
It's about 7 minutes before 8.
I think sunset right now is 8:04 approximately. So Lexi Escamilla's up. Again, runner on first. 2 outs. Swing and a miss. The runner thought about going. Decided not to.
Yeah, and Lexi was thinking long ball here, trying to tie the game.
Solis on first. 5-3 the score. And this time Solis will go, and the ball bounces to the infielders. No chance for a play, and Solis is credited with a stolen base.
Yeah, good backup there. Second baseman. We saw the shortstop there at first, but the second baseman back there. And the ball could have easily gone to center field if it wasn't for her.
Solis got on that fielder's choice that rubbed out Reyes at second base. Doesn't quite hit the outside corner. 2-1.
And Martinez is still in the circle. We saw her come in the second inning for the starter, Talia Reyes.
Yeah, she may go all the way from here on out today. 2-2.
Got the inside corner there.
Want to get things going here. Remember, tying run right now at home plate. And that's going to be popped up.
Oh, nice catch.
Did we get a catch from a fan?
Wow. One-handed, holding a cell phone in one hand and catching with his right hand. The softballs are bigger than regular baseball, so it's not an easy catch.
I think I heard the public address announcer say that's a top 10 play, right?
It's a top something, that's for sure. Top 10, top 5. Top catch maybe in this stadium this year. I don't know.
There we go. Ooh.
Staying alive, yes.
Staying alive. Just got enough on that ball.
Right. The
catcher held it. Had been a third strike.
It would have been a third strike. Yeah, she dropped it, I think. So
she did.
Foul tip on that play.
So we'll see how significant that play was. And again, nice and cool with the wind here after a really hot afternoon. We were setting things up and had to put the sunscreen on as we're setting up the equipment.
And we still have it out here.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, I know we last week we were preparing for it, and we brought it again for this road trip.
I didn't know we needed it this afternoon, but we did. But again, now it's a nice breeze, and it's very pleasant to be out here. And that is going to bounce to the pitcher. Throws to first, and it is going to be an out, and that is the end of the top of the fifth. And in that inning, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left on base. We've played 4.5, and right now it is O'Connor of San Antonio 5, Weslaco 3. This is a KWES production. And are they going to say it's a foul ball? Okay, so it's going to still be alive, huh? All right, so I'm not sure what's happening here.
Well, if that's the case, I'm glad I have a pencil here.
Yeah. It looked like it was over, but let's hope for Weslaco's sake it's not.
And you saw the ball.
Well, at first I thought it was going to be a foul ball, okay? But then my first call would have been a foul ball. Okay, so I thought it was foul at first. And, even Mike, he keeps score very well. The traditional way, he's got the fancy sheets and everything. And, again, even he had put it in already. And so Mike's seen a lot of softball, so he thought it was an out. But, again, fortunately for Weslaco, they called it foul, hit in front of the plate.
So runner still at second.
Yes. And that is going to be a swinging strikeout. So you heard what I just said a moment ago. I won't go through it again. Now, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left on base. We have played 4.5 and 5-3 O'Connor over Weslaco. This is a KWES production. And
the latest update we have,
on Weslaco
on the Weslaco High baseball game is now they're at the top of the 6th. Nothing. Pitcher's duel.
Yeah, it is a pitcher's duel. So maybe that might go to extra innings. Joe Aguilar doing a great job broadcasting that as always. It was nice hearing Joe. Remember, we were coming home from this game, and he was doing another game. And now we see the home team coming out, and they've got, brooms and stuff?
Yeah, they have their set of costumes and little brooms and headgear. And
right. And one of those little horses you try to ride.
Sure.
I had one of those as a little boy, I forget what they called them.
We all did. Yeah.
Hobby horse or something. I'm not sure what they're called. That was way too far in my past to remember. But again, it's fun. So we enjoyed it. And So is it going to be a battle of battle of the benches? Which can come out with the best costumes, mascot heads, and other paraphernalia? How does that sound?
It sounds very good.
All right. I mean, they may work on this both teams tonight. I don't know. All right, we are going to go now to the bottom of the fifth inning, and it is going to be number 7 coming up, and again, that is going to be Amia Hasso, a sophomore. And Amia has walked and scored. Also, she has flown out. She plays catcher, and that is going to be a diving stop by the shortstop, by Lexi, but no chance for a play. Nice effort, but it is going to be a infield single.
Yeah, and I like the fact that Lexi didn't try to force it either. A lot of times what we see is a player get up, try to force it to first, and maybe the ball will go over the first baseman's head and into the bench and things like that.
Guess what? You got a runner in scoring position with no outs.
Yeah.
So it was good not to try to do that. She's a veteran. She knew that that runner was going to make it. There was no chance for the throw to get her. And now Haley Carter's coming up. She struck out and also had a 2-base hit. And that went way out there, huh? But
well, it was so high that I lost it up in the sky.
So maybe one of the birds got it, huh?
Yeah, maybe they'll bring it back to us. Right?
5-3 the score. And Haley, just a junior, already with that state championship under her belt from last year.
Now, here's an interesting question. We talk about state championships. Do the players and coaches get rings? I wonder about that.
I'll ask tomorrow.
That's a very good question that we can ask them before tomorrow's game if any of them have rings. For sure they get that trophy.
Yeah, they got the trophy.
From the UIL.
I know. We won't say too much about this, but I will say someone has told me that broadcasters for the Vipers get rings if their team wins a championship. So
yeah. That's professional, So that makes plenty of sense.
No, I'm making a joke here because I have 2 of them.
Oh, there you go. and I know collegiately they get rings as well.
Yeah, no, they're nice rings, by the way.
Oh, I'm sure.
Okay, that's going to be filed off.
I imagine that
seriously about the rings, when I got the rings, the first time I won a championship ring with them when I was broadcasting, I compared mine to Daniel House, who at that time was with the Rockets. Mm-hmm. He's from Texas A&M. And I said, well, my ring can't be as good as yours. But believe it or not, and this goes to Mr. Cantu and the rest of the people that run the Vipers, they gave all the staff the same rings they gave the players.
I imagine the rings are just as big as maybe the first couple Super Bowls that we had.
Yeah. In fact, the one last ring we got in 2019, or actually, I should say not 20. That was the first ring I got. The second ring I got, not this season, but last season, is so big I don't wear it because I don't like to look gaudy with it. So, foul ball. And, a lot of people may not know this, but the gentleman you work with every day, Carlos Robledo, who runs KWES, he was a great play-by-play broadcaster for the Vipers for several years.
I've actually had a chance. We have a strike out there by Cantu there, but yes, I've actually worked with Carlos in some basketball games. We worked together.
No, he's good.
And we've done a few baseball games as well. Yeah, great reporter.
Yeah, we used to work in Corpus Christi, as a matter of fact. People may know him from his days because we were broadcasting this area.
His first professional job.
Yeah,
and then he came home to the Rio Grande Valley and worked for many years at KGBT Channel 4.
All right. Did the Vipers? They, by the way, are the G League team of the Houston Rockets, the minor league team. Rio Grande Valley Vipers, their home is in Edinburgh, Texas. Play at Bird Ogden Arena. So, 0-1 the count. And again, trying to get that out.
And it's worth noting, Scott, for Cantu, that was her second strikeout on that last hitter.
Yeah. That's good.
And as a matter of fact, they're both to Haley Carter.
All right. And Trini Lunsford's up, another top hitter. 1-1 the count. 1 out. Bottom of the 5th. Weslaco trails by 2. And that is going to be a strike.
Lunsford tries to butt her way on. Misses. Strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes on.
And we got a nice email from a former classmate of yours, Bianca Gomez, who is one of the
nice.
PR directors for the XFL. They have their championship game, by the way, in San Antonio. On Saturday,
right?
7 o'clock, it'll be on ABC. It'll be at the Alamo Dome. And the reason I'm giving a plug to this, okay, I go to a lot of the games. I'll actually be at that game. If we have a third game, I'm going right from here to San Antonio after that game. But the reason I bring her up is that she went to Weslaco High School with Mike Gonzalez and still supports the Panthers. And she has a really nice job with the XFL. If you want to get media credentials, I'll try to make it simple. You got to kind of go through her. And you know her from being a classmate.
Yeah, and I think you even noted that she said at the end of the email, "Go Panthers."
Yeah, go Panthers. So, again, the lady that's one of the top media relations people for the XFL is a big fan. Maybe she can turn The Rock into a Panthers fan. He's one of the owners. The wrestler,
right.
The wrestler and actor, former wrestler. Dwayne
actor.
Johnson. I should call him Dwayne Johnson now. Fast and Furious, right? Stuff like that. All right. That ball up, and it's going to go to Lexi, pop up on the infield, and that is the second out. So Lunsford pops out, P6.
So after giving up the infield single there, Cantu has bounced back with two outs.
Kaylin Rodriguez is up, the second baseman. Oh, I'm sorry, Araceli Alonso's up, I'm sorry. Got ahead of myself.
Her last at bat hit one hard to right fielder, right to Ortiz there. Made a great catch.
So let's see if we can get to the sixth inning unscathed in this half inning and try to get a rally going, and that's a good start. It's a strike, fast throw to first. Runner dives back to the bag. And that was a nice pop on the arm by Romy.
Yeah, it was. It really was. But I remember Audrey Escamilla was really good at picking off runners.
So she was a catcher? She was a catcher?
She was a catcher.
That was before my time here, so I have to ask that.
Yeah, since her freshman year, she played catcher for Weslaco High. And she was one of the best I ever saw
picking
up runners in the corners.
Yeah.
And the thing about her is that she didn't even hesitate. She just get the pitch and just deliver that throw.
Put some pop on it. That's a strike. And that is going to be the end of the half inning. So in the bottom of the fifth, no runs, one hit, no errors, one left on base. We've played 5 complete, and it is 5-3 right now. O'Connor over Weslaco. This is a KWES production. And remember, because they play 7 innings in softball, we've got 2 more chances for Weslaco, 6 more outs for them to try to get things going and try to get this game where we want it. Now, no matter what happens, Weslaco will be the home team tomorrow. And I would assume if there's a third game, it'll be as usual. They'll have a coin toss. Of course, against Eagle Pass, we lost the toss of the coin. We actually watched it. It was done right after the game at home plate. We got to see it. And, Mike, I got to ask you this, all right? If I see him, I'll ask Coach this. Coach Rodriguez, since the call, I guess he made the call on the coin toss, and it didn't go their way. What if we had Mike here go out and make the call if they have a third game? Would you like to do that?
Why not?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Maybe I might suggest it, because it didn't work out right the first time against Eagle Pass.
Yeah.
And we'd like to be the home team if there is a third game. Of course, what we'd like to see most is Weslaco come back in this game and win tomorrow.
And while we have a minute, bottom of the 6th over there at Weslaco High, 0-0.
All right.
So great game over there.
Yeah. Can't argue that. Well, we are going to begin the top of the 6th. And coming up, Mia Rodriguez. And she's done a little better, hasn't she? Had a hit and a walk today?
Yeah, she doubled her first time up in the second inning,
right.
And then was trying to score here at home, and then was called out, and drew a walk and scored.
Yeah.
Well, she didn't score, but her courtesy runner did in the 4th inning.
So, again, I think things are starting to heat up for her. After struggling in the last series, maybe this will be her series.
Yeah, hopefully so. They could really use her bat here against this strong San Antonio O'Connor team.
I want to know the count. Beautiful evening so far as the weather. Tap foul. And you know there's a huge crowd watching the boys at Weslaco tonight.
I'm sure there is, yeah. Absolutely.
You know, I did one game, of course, my buddy O.J. Martinez running everything in the press box, PA, music, and does a great job. And you know that it's rocking over there at Weslaco. And that is going to be a ball the third baseman playing in can't get to. Shortstop goes to her knees, tries to throw out the runner, and there's Mia, now 2 for 3. And, of course, the other time she got on a walk, I'm sure Mia will have a courtesy runner.
The third baseman was playing a little bit in, so
Yes.
the ball was hit so hard that it
Right.
got by her, but great backup by the shortstop,
Yeah,
and actually threw from her knees.
Well, let
to
me
first
let me
base.
say this. Carter missed it. Remember, Dominguez playing a new position this year.
Yeah.
She was the catcher, now shortstop. Even told me still kind of getting the feel for it, but she looked like a pro there.
Yeah, absolutely. Great job there. Great
Yeah.
try there. But Rodriguez with her second hit to lead off the
Right.
inning. So
And Romy Nunez is up, and I've seen her hit home runs over the years watching the Panthers. We're talking about the Weslaco Lady Panthers. So, again, she has the pop in her bat to tie this game up with one swing. And she is going to hit it to short. It's going to go to second. And tries to throw to first. It was the second, was the runner at second safe.
yeah, the
All
ball
right.
was actually off target and went
All
to
right.
right field, but right
right.
fielder in perfect position to get the
right.
the ball there. So the runners had to stay at first and second,
Yeah.
and we're going to have a courtesy runner there.
Right.
I see number 2 come out. So I imagine that's going to be an
So we have
error.
okay. So what? It was they couldn't get the runner at second, right?
Correct.
And they threw to first. Was the
No,
second
no.
base, or what
The
happened?
ball went over the second baseman's head.
Okay.
Whoever was covering.
Yeah, I was kind
imagine
of
second base.
I was shielded here because
but-
they were standing
But
there.
the ball went to right field. But
Okay.
the right fielder was in perfect position.
All right. Yeah. I was kind of blocked here. We're sitting right behind home plate, and where the players were running, I was blocked on that play. So I got Mike kind of getting me up to date here. So Mia's on second. And
Courtesy runner at first.
okay, so would Romy be credited with a hit?
To me, that's an error.
An
in
error.
my
Okay,
opinion.
that's fine. Well, it's fine. We get it straightened out later. So we have the courtesy runner on after Romy reached on the error. Mia's on second. And now stepping to the plate is the potential lead run. And that's Galvin.
And at first is that courtesy runner
Yeah,
we
yeah.
talked about, number 2. It's Kalissa Isagire.
Okay.
She's a junior.
And Galvin grounded out and got a base hit. So remember, there's no outs. Tyne runs on base. Well, it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Again, as far as heat, that won't be so much of a fatigue thing tonight now with the sun down and the cool wind.
Big difference.
Yeah, yeah.
than a few hours ago. A few
Yes,
hours ago it was very,
yes.
very hot out here.
That much is true. Again, Tiv has a drop ball and a curve. That's our primary, or that is her primary pitches. Ball 2. 2-1. It's good to be ahead in the count always. Gives you some more options of what you can do at the plate.
And one of them is a hit and run situation
Yes.
here with 2 on and nobody out. Let's see what Coach Rodriguez decides to do here. The infield playing a little from the corners are in from their bags.
A low pitch. So, we're 1 pitch away from having the bags jammed and no outs.
Right. Second and short, they're playing at their normal positions, and I think a lot of it has to do because there's runners on.
Yes.
But they are in from the corners there for a few feet away. A few feet inside.
Here's the payoff pitch. It's low. No doubt there. And actually, the hit and run may have been on because Mia slid into third base. But, so we have a runner on as a result of a hit, 1 as a result of an error, and 1 as a result of a walk. And now,
So interesting situation,
Yeah.
Scott, with nobody out.
Right.
The bases are loaded for Dela Hinojosa, who's one of those slap hitters that has the capability of also hitting it to the outfield.
well, this is getting exciting. I'd say a nail biter, but I cut my nails yesterday, so I have no nails to bite.
But
try to keep good hygiene.
and Dela, only a freshman, hits from the left side. So let's see how the defense plays this. See the corners once again in, and now the second baseman and the shortstop are also playing in. Remember last week with the Eagle pass, the second baseman was right next to the circle there.
I remember that. So our batters reached on an air and also popped out.
So if she gets it by the infield, Scott, there's a lot of space. But I'm looking at the center fielder. The center fielder is kind of creeping in as well a little bit. The left fielder is playing shallow as well. The right fielder is playing more toward, a little closer to center field, more right center.
Yes. One strike.
If Dela somehow gets a hold of one and hits it to the right field in the corner there, we would have a very interesting.
We might have a lead.
We might have the lead.
Say it.
Just perhaps. Just perhaps.
I don't. Yeah. You know me. I'm a little more obnoxious. All right. Oh, look at that one. It goes to center field, but I wonder if the wind held that up. But we are going to have a runner come in. Mia tags up. It's going to be a sac fly to center field. So Hinosa gets an RBI, and we see Mia come in, tagged at third and came in, and now it's just a one-run lead, 5-4. So nice aluminum.
Great piece of hitting.
Yeah, great piece of hitting.
I
always want to say
hard.
wood on the ball because I'm old time, but the aluminum got a good ping on that one and got out to center field.
And Rodriguez was able to tag easily from third.
Yeah, so we got Ortiz coming up top of the order. Big swinging strike. So we have runners at first and second, one out. Just a one-run lead right now for O'Connor.
So one freshman did her job driving in the run. Now we got another freshman at the plate.
Good call.
Let's see if she can deliver a big hit here.
And Ortiz, didn't she once have like 4 home runs in 4 straight games, if I recall?
Yeah,
she's got 4 homers. But no, I think it was during the district season. And that's going to be fouled. 4 straight games she hit a home run. So she definitely has the power. And this,
she came through with a big-time hit in Game 3.
Right. Well, she's grown up very fast. Right now she talks to Coach Rodriguez. And again, I want to thank Mario for taking some time to talk with me last night. I always enjoy talking with him. And he has so much knowledge of softball and of sports in general. Now, he was watching the Lakers game. I don't know, is he a Lakers fan or not? I know he was watching.
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great game to watch.
Sure. He's a sports fan, that's for sure.
Yeah. And that's a good way to relax getting ready for this. You know, a hard day. Sit there the night before and kind of watch some NBA, getting ready for this big series. I did apologize for interrupting him, so but I had to talk to him.
So that big hit by Andrea Ortiz was in the 4th inning of Game 3. She came through with an RBI triple.
1-2 the count, and that is going to be, it's going to hit the runner.
So let's see what they might call her
how do they rule
out.
that?
Yeah, she's going to be ruled out.
All right, the runner was hit by
for interference.
Interference.
And that's unfortunate because it looked like that ball was going to go to right field.
All right, so Hinosa's out. The grounder hit her.
Yeah.
And the runner at third that went to third has to go back to second.
Right.
And that means that Ortiz gets a fielder's choice, right? So we have runners at first and second. All right. Lola Reyes, if I had to have someone up with 2 outs,
absolutely,
I'd want Lola up there.
Speaking of big hits, she drove in that go-ahead run.
Yes. And that's going to be slapped to first, and that will be unassisted on that play. The first baseman puts her foot on the bag, and that is going to be the end of it. But in the inning, there was 1 run, 1 hit, 1 error, and 2 left on base, and we have completed 5.5 innings, and right now it's O'Connor over Weslaco, 5-4. This is a KWES production, so we are glad to see them get another run, trying to inch closer and closer, and that's the key. Obviously, you don't want to be down much when you only have 1 at bat coming up, and of course, we don't want to have any runs come in right now if you're a Weslaco fan by O'Connor. Got to play tough here.
And you mentioned it, Scott. We are the road team this time, so O'Connor will get 2 at bats if needed.
Yes.
Here in the 6th and in the 7th.
And if it gets tied and we go to extra innings,
correct.
If we don't score in the top of the inning and they get a run, it's all over.
Right.
Because they are the home team, like you said.
Right.
Something to keep in mind. And as we mentioned, the staff for O'Connor, there's going to be nothing about them being, well, we've done this once before. No, as we mentioned, if you just tuned in, Coach Lowe, this is her first season. The whole staff is new. So they don't have a championship under their belt. So they're hungry. The coach last year has retired. And obviously only 3 of the starters are back from last year. So you got a lot of hungry players for O'Connor. That's what I'm saying.
And give her credit for stepping in for taking over a state championship program.
Right, yeah. And she's very confident, but, not cocky. She is knows what she's doing, loves the opportunity she has, wants to make the most of it, and she obviously coaches over at third base. Foul ball that time, and that is Kaylin Rodriguez at the plate. But the main thing, it's very simple. You got to hold them to no runs here in the top of the 7th. It's very simple. Simple recipe.
Absolutely. And then I'm looking at my notes here. We'll have the meat of the lineup in the 7th inning.
Strike 2. And Cantu has shown a lot of times that she gets stronger as the game goes on. She just gets confidence. I think the other night when we clinched the area championship, I don't think she even knew it was the 3rd out. She was so focused, all right, that she didn't know the game was over yet. And that's not from not paying attention. It's her focus on trying to get the pitches in. And that's a long throw.
Oh.
It was bobbled for a moment by Lexi, not by much, and she threw an excellent throw. Elizabeth Craig reached out to get it, but the runner is safe. And that's going to be a tough one, whether to rule that an error or not.
Yeah. And Elizabeth Craig, I don't know exactly what her height is, but my guess would be maybe 5'10", 5'11".
Yes.
But what I'm trying to say here is her height really paid off there because the throw was a little high, but she was able to put her hand up and to make the catch.
It was hard hit to short. When it was bobbled, it was not an easy chance. That's where the problem comes in.
And I think they're having a discussion here.
Okay, what would that be?
I wonder if just perhaps they want to make sure that it was an out.
Oh, was an out or wasn't an out?
They ruled that it was an out.
Okay.
But I think they just want to have a little talk to make sure that the call was correct.
So they ruled it an out. I want to make that correct.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so we do have the runner at first. She's still at the bag there. So,
okay. That's why I got confused. The runner was there. I thought she was safe because she stayed there. But it was called an out originally. Okay.
No, she was called safe originally.
Oh, she was called safe. Okay, so I got it right the first time.
Yeah. And she's still there.
All right, I want to make that clear because I thought she was safe initially.
But it was a very close
Yes,
play.
It was. Bang, bang. I'm going to call it, I don't know, Mike.
I give her a hit.
You're going to give her a hit? Okay, I'll go whatever you see. You see more softball than I do. So we will give a hit on that play. And that is going to be slapped back to the pitcher. And a double play, all right? So that was very fun to watch. I mean, that was hard hit. DeLuna, a great hitter, just slapped that thing hard. And she is a slap hitter, slapped it hard to the pitcher. She caught it and doubled off the runner at first.
The PA announcer is even saying that's an ESPN play right there for you. And in my mind, that's the defensive play.
Well, we've seen,
of the playoffs to me.
I don't know if they have an all-defensive team, in these districts or whatever, but from what I've seen of softball, again, don't see as much as you have. Maddie has had a couple series I've watched as good a series as a defensive player catching the ball when it's hit back to the mound as anybody I've seen in a while. And you agree?
And it's kind of what we talked about here. She doesn't have a lot of strikeouts statistically.
No.
I mean, she's come through with strikeouts when she's needed.
Yeah.
But it's her glove. It's her glove on defense that's really, that's probably been the most impressive here.
Yeah.
And in my mind, that's the defensive play of the playoffs.
No, she
caught
caught
the Lady Panthers.
And just threw it back to first, and the first baseman doubled off the runner. So let's see if we can get another out here quickly. That's a strike.
Did you see Pope?
By the way, it's top of the order, Pope up.
Yeah, Pope, you saw her fake like she was bunting, and then decided looked like she was going to take a swing there and trying to draw the defense in.
Good player. Now, does she have a couple hits here? I know she's done pretty good in this game. What has she done?
She has an RBI single in the second and an RBI single in the fourth.
2 hits and 2 RBIs.
Right. She grounded too short her first time up.
And she's got a great average. No one's going to be surprised by her abilities. a very good player.
Came in with a .425 batting average.
And that's popped up. And Romy Nunez gets it right in front of the screen for the third out. So in that inning, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, nobody left on base. We've played 6 complete. It's 5-4. O'Connor over Weslaco. And coming up, we've got one more opportunity for the Lady Panthers to try to tie this up and try to keep things going in game 1. This is a best-of-3 series. Regardless of what happens, there'll be a 6:30 game tomorrow night right here in Robstown. It will be Weslaco, the home team. They'll move from the first base dugout to the third base dugout, where O'Connor is tonight. And if necessary, a 2 o'clock game on Saturday, again, right here. But first things first, Weslaco trying to tie things up. And here they come with their signs.
Now they need a rally here. They're trying to get the fans going. But
fire us up, all kinds of things.
The latest report I have over there in Weslaco is O'Connor leads 1-0, top of the 7th inning.
And Weslaco has the last at bats because they're at home.
Correct.
That's in the boys' baseball. This, of course, is the Region 4 6A regional quarterfinals. I keep calling it round 3 because it's easy. But for the people that are purists and want to know what the full title is, it's the UIL Texas State Softball Championships Region 4 6A regional quarterfinals. You like that? I got that all out with tripping over my tongue not one time.
Right. So regional semifinals is the Sweet 16.
Yeah.
The Elite 8 is the regional final. You win your region and you advance to state.
Right.
That's how it works.
Mike is our resident mathematician. All right.
Sort of.
Sort of. Better than me. I got through college without taking one math course. I took physical geography. Well, I take some science courses. So I took physical geography instead. Still got a legitimate bachelor's degree. And it wasn't mail-in either. Okay. So I had to suffer through 4 years of classes at Ohio University. Love the Bobcats, though. So we have got a first pitch and a ball. And, Mike, this is down to the nitty-gritty.
Yeah, so we got hitters 3, 4, and 5 up now.
Got to try to get things going here. Alexis Solis is up. 1-1 the count. But Alexis always has been a pretty good clutch player, hasn't she?
Yeah, and she's come through with some big hits, and we've seen what she does on the base paths as well.
And that is going to be hit to short and past the shortstop. So, a hit, and Solis starts off with a single. The tying run is on base.
With the hottest hitter up to bat here, Elizabeth Craig.
Yes, a home run, 2-run homer. So we definitely like seeing her there, and some great fielding plays tonight too. Good efforts.
Absolutely, at first base there, but her job is to...
we got to ask her dad how tall she is. Do you know how tall she is?
Yeah, my guess would be 5'11".
Okay.
That would be my guess.
We'll ask her dad or her mom. That's outside. But that her able to be able to stretch farther because of her height has been very good at her being at first base.
And she has those big hands.
And she can pitch.
Hands.
She can actually pitch. She has done that this year.
Very versatile.
Yeah.
Very versatile player, yes.
Hasn't pitched in a while. Lola's pitched too.
And we've seen her, last year she was the right fielder.
Yes. All right. Good eye. It's a ball. This is getting exciting, Mike.
Trying to get the outside corner there, and I'm also keeping my eye on Solis at
good eye.
You're
keeping your eye on her.
Yeah.
So, like everybody's yelling, good eye. So I'm going to say that to you. Good eye, Mike.
Yeah.
All right. 2-0 the count. And that's going to be slapped to third. Throw to second. There's the force. And Elizabeth safe at first. So I believe that's going to be, what, a 5-4 force?
Fielder's choice.
The fielder's choice, by saying the force out.
5-4.
Yeah, third over to second for the force out.
Nice play there
the lead runner.
By Haley Carter there. She was actually playing in and got that bouncer.
So Solis is out
to
second.
Second base.
Yeah. And Elizabeth Craig is on first with the fielder's choice.
So we have a pinch hitter here.
All right.
Number 30, Miranda Ponteleon.
And she's a junior, listed as a first baseman and third baseman. We've seen her in the playoffs play.
Well, what we've seen is Coach Rodriguez won't hesitate to bring in.
Yes.
When we talk about Emily Galvan, to bring her in as a pinch hitter.
Well, players you don't see every day. He doesn't mind going deep in his bench, and this will pay off later in their careers. I mean, you know that these. I remember one time we said the 3 so-called courtesy runners. We had 2 on base and 1 at the plate, so everybody's getting a chance to play, and that keeps them focused, and also will help in their later years when they kind of have to take the reins or take the wheel of the car, whatever you want to say. But I like animals, so I say take the reins of the horse, right? So.
Right. But yes, so Coach Rodriguez needing a spark in the number 5 spot, and we're in the 7th inning, down 1 run.
Who's she in for? Who's she in for?
Lexi Escamilla.
Okay. 1 out. Fouled. And the sun has set. It is nighttime in Robstown. My first time being here, besides just seeing the sign on the highway. And it looks like a nice place. I can't say much because I really drove straight to the stadium, but we hope to explore a little bit in the next day or 2. Nice high school, I will say that. And very nice people. We dealt with getting things set up today.
Yeah, I love the field.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful
we got to
field.
ask if it's more rubber or sand underneath, right?
Yeah.
The one thing, I guess it was more sand in the last day we played in Jordanton, and that's better if the artificial surface has more sand, right, than rubber underneath. And that is going to be hit straight to the second baseman. Throws back to first. Double play. And that will end the game with a 5-4 win in Game 1 of the Region 4 6A Regional Quarterfinals. It is going to be O'Connor out of San Antonio over Weslaco. Final score 5-4. Double play ends it. And, of course, these teams will meet tomorrow at 6:30. Weslaco will be the home team. Before we leave, Mike, any final comments?
Well, I mean, the Lady Panthers gave it a good run here. They had opportunities. They took the lead in the first inning. Just unfortunately weren't able to get that big hit when they needed. Give credit to Martinez, who came in for Reyes.
All right, well, thank you very much. And for our videographer, Val Zamora, and also Adrian De Leon and Mike Gonzalez, I'm Scott Harrison saying so long from Robstown. We'll talk to you tomorrow night, 6:30 on YouTube. This has been a KWES production. I'm going to go to the car real quick.